Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of the Fire Alarm Systems 101. And today we are going to explore on the basic system types of the fire alarm system. So, in fire alarm system, we have two types. So, we'll be discussing about the conventional fire alarm system and the addressable fire alarm system. So, in the first episode, we had discussed about the importance of fire alarm system, what are the objectives of the fire alarm system. In the second episode, we have discussed about the concept of the fire triangle or the fire tetrahedron in the modern sense. And today is the third episode where we are discussing about the basic system types, which is the conventional and the addressable fire alarm systems. So without further ado, let's begin the topic. So the big question is, when a fire starts in a particular location, okay, the panel, that is a fire alarm control panel, has to provide us with two information. First thing is that it has to inform us whether there is a fire in that particular location. The second is it has to mention or it has to specify which location is under fire. So basically, it has to ask us whether there is a fire, and the second one is where the fire is located. So first one is the alarm condition, the second one is the location. So in order to tell the difference between the conventional and the addressable fire alarm system, the main difference lies in telling the location of the fire. That is, the main difference between the conventional and the addressable system lies in how they tell the location of the fire. That is, their response to the question of where the fire is happening is the difference lies the difference between the conventional and the addressable fire alarm system. So, conventional system and the addressable system have two different philosophies. Okay, so let's go through each point one by one. Suppose a fire happens in an area, okay, or in a neighborhood, okay. If that neighborhood has a conventional fire alarm system, okay, it tells you that this particular neighborhood, okay, has fire. So neighborhood means it's a vast area. Okay, it does not pinpoint a particular location. It says that this particular neighborhood, this vast area has fire. When it comes to the addressable system, in case that particular location has an addressable system, that system tells you exactly which particular room, which particular device the fire condition has been activated. It tells you the exact location when it comes to the addressable system. So, for example, in conventional system, the fire condition would be shown like alarm in zone 2. Zone 2 could be a neighborhood, it could be a street, okay, but it never points out which device or which location, which house is it, okay. Whereas in addressable system, it shows alarm, the particular detector in which room is it located. So that's the advantage of addressable system when it comes when you're comparing it with the conventional system. Conventional system is an older technology, while the addressable system is an intelligent system. It's considered to be an intelligent system which is newer in terms of technology. So let's discuss further on the conventional system. Okay. So as I said before, conventional system is categorized into zones. So if you're considering a zone, like let's say a neighborhood is a zone, okay. So for example, if you have got a letter from a street named Maple Street, okay, the letter only mentions that there is a street named Maple Street. It doesn't say which house is it, okay, from which particular person is it. It doesn't mention that one. So that is what happens in the conventional system. In conventional system, it says that the fire is located in this particular zone. It doesn't say that which particular device is getting activated in the conventional system. So we will just go into more details for further clarity. Suppose that a building has got conventional fire alarm system, and the building is divided into separate zones. Okay, so let's say, for example, the lobby area is considered to be zone 1. So whatever devices are there in the lobby area, that's connected in the zone 1 circuit. Suppose that there's another area named west wing. Okay, whatever devices there in the west wing is considered to be is connected to the zone 2 circuit. So zone 1 circuit is connected in the lobby area, while the zone 2 circuit is in the west wing area. Okay, now in one zone multiple devices will be there. Okay, so if any one device in that particular zone is activated, then the panel shows that alarm in zone 2. This is an example. If I will repeat again, if any device in that particular zone gets activated, the panel will show alarm in zone 2. This is what happens in a conventional system. So which all places are conventional system suitable for? Conventional system is typically suitable. Okay, it's suitable in small buildings. Okay, for example, it could be porta cabins, it could be single floor building, it could be G+1 building, etc. So buildings could be like site accommodations. Okay, there could be porta cabins, uh, small cafes, small apartments, small retail stores, etc. For such kind of areas, conventional system would be suitable. So let's discuss the pros and cons of the conventional system. So when it comes to the cost, conventional system is cheaper. Okay, it has a very simple design in the conventional system. Okay, you don't have to break your head while designing a conventional system, and it's also easier when it comes to the small spaces. Okay, that is what conventional system. That are the pros of the conventional system. When it comes to the disadvantages or the cons, the location of the fire alarm condition, you cannot get it. You cannot get the specific location when it comes to the conventional system. If a fire happens, let's say in zone 2, okay, and in case if you are a firefighter, or if you are a security guard, or if you are the engineer, you need to go to that zone 2 and you have to search for which room is having the fire. Okay, so that's why the location is vague when it comes to the conventional system. The troubleshooting is not easy when it comes to the conventional system. The panel will say that fault is there in zone 2 circuit or zone 1 circuit. You need to go check each and every device in that particular zone. Okay, and in that particular zone and do troubleshooting. Okay, that is one disadvantage of the conventional system. And lastly, but not least, the home run wiring, that is from the panel to that particular zone, the number of wires is more. Okay, in conventional system, while in conventional system you need to use more number of cables. I will discuss about the addressable system for each aspect in the coming slides. So these are the pros and the cons of the conventional system. So we have discussed. So yeah, I don't want to go through again. I will just this is the pros and cons. We have concerns when it comes to when the cost. In terms of cost, conventional system is cheaper. Design aspect also it is easier, and it is easier to install in small spaces. When it comes to the cons, the location is a problem. It doesn't give you a specific location. The troubleshooting is limited, and when it comes to the cable quality and the conduit routing, it is you need more quantity of cable and the conduit. Now let's discuss about the addressable system, which are considered to be the intelligent systems. Okay, so it's like a city with a street address. Okay, so if you are giving a letter, if you are getting a letter from somewhere, you get the street, you get the address, you also get the house number as well. Okay, everything is perfect when it comes to the addressable system. It's easier. If you get the location of that particular from where the letter has come, then it is easier to trace back to that origin. That is what addressable system is all about. So it's like if you have fire in one particular location in that detector, so the person or the security guard needs to go to that location only. He doesn't have to search for the entire area. He just needs to go to that location and find out what is the source of fire. So let's see how it works. Let's say that every device in the addressable system, okay, every device in the addressable system has a unique address. For example, uh, in the third floor, device number 7 has an address L3D7, okay, and all these devices are connected in one communication loop. We call this communication loop as an SLC. SLC stands for signaling line circuit, okay. So what happens in this SLC is that there will be a constant communication between the fire alarm control panel and the devices. Okay, the fire alarm control panel will be asking devices whether they are okay, whether there is any situation, whether there is any abnormal situation. Okay, and each device will be responding, will be sending back signals to the fire alarm system, answering that yes, we are okay, we don't have any abnormality in our functioning. Okay, so this communication, that is whether you are okay, yes, we are okay. That constant communication, the constant question answer between the panel and the devices will be always taking place. So if a fire alarm condition occurs or if a fault condition occurs, then the panel will show that there is a alarm condition or there is a fault condition in this particular smoke detector located in this particular room. For example, as mentioned over here, there is an alarm condition in the smoke detector. Okay, it will be showing, it will be also showing the address as well. Okay, and the address, and also you can mention the room number as well. So when you get the room number, then it becomes easy for troubleshooting. Okay, so this is how the addressable system works. So which all areas the addressable system can be used for? Addressable system can be used for medium to large buildings. So when I say medium to large buildings, it could be hospitals, it could be commercial buildings, it could be accommodations, it could be schools, airports, high-rise buildings, etc. So this is where the addressable systems are used. So let's discuss about the pros and cons of the addressable system. So when it comes to the pros, as I said before, you get the exact device location. There's no doubt about it. The diagnostics of the addressable system is advanced. Okay, it will tell you which device is faulty, which device is dirty. It will tell you that which device needs to be cleaned. Okay, so the diagnostics, when it comes to diagnostics, addressable system is having a upper hand. The programming logic of addressable system is flexible. Okay, and when it comes to the wiring, you just need less wiring. You don't need to go for more wiring. That is, for each zone you don't need separate wiring. Okay, so these are the advantages of the addressable system. When it comes to the cons, addressable system is costly. It is too costly. It is higher cost when compared to the conventional system. Okay, the programming logic, the programming knowledge a technician will be requiring should be high. It will be very complicated. Okay, and the technician or the programmer has to be trained in order to program this system or in order to troubleshoot these systems. So these are the cons of the addressable fire alarm system. So we have discussed about the pros when it comes to the location, when it comes to diagnostics, when it comes to the programming, when it comes to the wiring, and when it comes to the cons, we have discussed about the cost, the programming complexity, and also the training which is required for the technicians. So let's move to the next slide. So here we are going to compare between the conventional and the addressable system in terms of 5 different aspects. It's just like a summary of whatever we have discussed. So when it comes to the location, the conventional system will give you information zone-wise, while the addressable system will give you an information about the specific device. Wiring, every zone will have multiple wires in the conventional system, but when it comes to the addressable, it's just one loop. That is, it is a single loop. Okay. When it comes to troubleshooting, you will get in the conventional system, you will get to know only which zone is down. It will not mention, it will not ask you which devices. In order to know which device is down, you have to physically go to the location and search for each and every device connected in that particular zone. But when it comes to the addressable system, you will get to know which device is exactly faulty. Okay. Now, the fourth aspect is the cost. Conventional system is cheaper when compared to the addressable system. And the last one is the application. Conventional system is normally used in small buildings, while the addressable system is used in medium to large buildings, depending on the usage of the buildings, occupancy of the buildings. So this is the quick comparison table between the conventional and the addressable system. So in the addressable system, we have come across a term, we have come across an abbreviation which was SLC. So SLC stands for Signaling Line Circuit. So what is Signaling Line Circuit? The signaling line circuit is considered to be the communication loop in the addressable system. It's like a data highway that allows the communication between the panel and the device. Okay, so as I gave you an example, the panel will ask each and every device, okay, whether that particular device in this particular location is okay. Okay, whether do you see any abnormalities in that particular location, like for example, if there is a smoke, if there is a change in temperature, if there is a flame. So the panel will maintain a constant communication with the devices, and for each question of the panel, the devices will respond based on the situation. If the situation is normal, that particular device will tell to the panel that no, there is no abnormality, everything is normal. And in case if there is an abnormality, it will say that that particular device, let's say that if it is a smoke detector, the smoke detector will say, yes, I sense smoke over here. If it is a heat detector, it will say that I sense a change in temperature. If it is a flame detector, it will say that I see flame over here. So accordingly, the action will be taken by the fire alarm control panel. Okay, so this constant communication takes place within the panel and the devices when it comes to the addressable system, and all these devices and the panel is connected in a loop, and that loop is called a signaling line circuit. Now comes the billion-dollar question: can the addressable system and the conventional devices coexist? That is, whether can we achieve hybrid systems? And the answer is yes, it is possible. Many a times when you are designing, okay, an addressable system for a complex building, okay, there could be areas, okay, there could be areas where the devices are conventional. Okay, let's say that you have an hazardous rooms. So there are some brands, okay, where you need to use. There are some guidelines, not brands. There are some guidelines which says that in this particular room you need to use explosion-proof devices. So in certain brands, you have, for the explosion-proof devices, it may be conventional system. It may be conventional devices. So the conventional devices you cannot connect directly to the addressable system. So in order to have that communication established between the conventional device and the addressable panel, you need to install a module adjacent to that particular device. Okay, and that module is called as conventional zone module. So this conventional zone module will be serving as an interpreter, or will be serving as a communicator between the addressable fire alarm panel and the conventional devices. So if you see that both the addressable system and the conventional system, both of them coexist. Okay, both of them can be used. So in such cases, what happens is the the cost, when it comes to cost, the cost is reduced. You are not using you're not using any kind of, what do we say, addressable devices. So instead of using addressable devices, you are using the conventional devices. So that is about the hybrid systems. So I will just yeah, as I said before, in this particular side, that the cost will be reduced when it comes to using the hybrid systems. So let's summarize. So conventional has zones. Conventional system has zones. Okay. So if you are having less number of zones, it is easier for troubleshooting. Okay. And it will tell you, and it is easier for troubleshooting. It will not take much time for troubleshooting, and it is cheaper. In addressable, you get specific addresses of the devices. If any fire condition occurs, then the address or the location of the particular device will be informed from the panel. So it is good for large spaces. It tells you the exact house. The addressable systems use an SLC circuit, SLC loop, signaling lines the loop for the communication. In order to ensure that there is a constant communication between the panel and the devices. The addressable system allows better troubleshooting and precise location identification. That is, if you are having a huge number of devices, the addressable location will tell you the exact location where the device is faulty, so that the troubleshooting team can go to that location only, need to go to that location, and then perform their activities from that location only. Okay. And the last one is, these days, many buildings, modern buildings, are using addressable systems. Okay, they are actually modifying, they're actually replacing the conventional systems with the addressable systems. Okay, but that does not mean that conventional systems are obsolete. Conventional systems are existing, but it's only used in areas which are temporary or areas which are small. Okay, so in such places, conventional systems are still being used. So this comes to the end of this episode. Okay. So I hope you have understood the difference between the conventional and the addressable fire alarm systems. So in case if you have any questions related to this episode, kindly please feel free to post them in the comment section. Okay. So that I will go through your comments. I will go through your doubts, queries, and then answer to it based on to the best of my knowledge. Okay, so before we wind up, I just need to inform you that the next topic that we are going to deal with is the fire alarm control panel. The fire alarm control panel is considered to be the brain of the fire alarm system. Okay, so that will be the next episode. So before you sign off, I would humbly request all of you to kindly like, share, and subscribe to learn more about the fire alarm systems. Thank you once again for being a wonderful audience, and I am signing off. Goodbye.